On average, people who have carried obesity most of their adult life have tried more than 4 dozen times to lose weight seriously. It's just hard to do. And here now we have an answer that works.
Eli Lilly CEO Dave Ricks bullish on the impact of his company's new weight loss drug, how it works, the Made in Indiana connection, and when you can get it. Also hard to believe, but it's that time of year again. What consumers and businesses can expect this holiday shopping season, both online and in the store. And move over popcorn and soda, how Indiana movie theaters are taking the food and drink experience to the next level. All coming your way next on Inside Indiana Business.
For 25 years, we have been Indiana's business news leader. This is IBJ Media's Inside Indiana Business with Gerry Dick. Presented by Elevate Ventures and Indiana University.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gerry Dick. A historic time at the old pill company on the south side of the city. That's how CEO Dave Ricks describes the vibe around Eli Lilly and Company after its latest win. Regulatory approvals of the company's highly anticipated injectable weight loss drug Zepbound, which helped people lose up to 52 pounds in 16 months in clinical trials. It is expected to be a multi-billion-dollar blockbuster for Lilly, which based on market capitalization is now the most valuable pharma company in the world. I sat down with Dave Ricks and asked him about Zepbound, the challenge of meeting soaring manufacturing demands, and the role Indiana will play.
It couldn't be a more exciting time down here at the old pill company on the south side of the city. I mean, people are super enthusiastic. It's fun to win. Things like markers like stock price indicate that. There's other ones too, but it's really fun to make medicines that matter.
Lilly CEO Dave Ricks believes Zepbound will matter in the fight against one of the world's most pressing health issues. It is estimated that 4 in 10 adults in the U.S. have obesity, which can lead to other issues like diabetes and cardiovascular disease. It's estimated the market for weight loss medicines could top $100 billion by 2030. And Ricks says Lilly is developing a pipeline of products aimed at becoming the market leader.
There's a triple acting one called retatrutide in phase 3 studies. We have an oral GLP-1, so single acting, but a pill that's in phase 3 now and much anticipated product. And then we have 6 others in the Lilly pipeline. So we continue to innovate and we aim to be a leader here. We're focused on doing everything we can to arrest a common condition. WHO says 1 billion people in the world will have obesity by 2030. Our job is to help them.
The challenge now, meeting soaring demand. Lilly recently announced plans to build a $2.5 billion plant in Germany, part of more than $11 billion in manufacturing investment over the past 3 years.
This is the largest manufacturing investment at a single location in Lilly's 147-year history.
That includes the largest single investment in Lilly history. $3.7 billion for a manufacturing campus at the Leap Innovation District in Boone County that will play a key role in Lilly's plans.
We'll make Zepbound in that facility. So if it's made in Indiana, we should put that on the pen. We make it in other places too, but the main site will actually be here, along with those other 2 I mentioned that are in the late phase pipeline, the triple acting and the oral. So that site's critical to the global rollout and to the growth of the company. We couldn't go faster. We're proud we chose to put that in Indiana. It's the Leap District's key part of that decision.
Just over a decade removed from patent expirations and a restructuring aimed at rescuing the company from some of the darkest days in its history, Lilly is on a roll. Earlier this year, becoming the world's most valuable pharma company based on market capitalization. For Ricks, it represents an opportunity for Lilly to be a catalyst in changing world health.
It's a special moment in the history, old company, long history. This is a special moment in that history. There are only, you mentioned at the top, 2 things that are really unique. We have really what is the most prevalent chronic disease for adults in the world, obesity. We can change that. We're not saying the cure word, but we can resolve that issue for a huge swath of the planet. But we have to do a lot of things from here. What an opportunity that is. And another one, Alzheimer's, which is usually the most feared condition worse than cancer or death to get that condition. And we have a chance to really change the trajectory of that. What else would you want to sign up for to be a part of that kind of mission? That's what I get excited about. I know many of our employees do too.
CEO Dave Ricks from Lilly's corporate center in downtown Indianapolis. Zepbound is expected to be available in the U.S. by the end of the year at a list price of about $1,000 per month. Well, Lilly certainly has contributed to improving global health in multiple ways since its founding in 1876. That's the same year Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. One of Lilly's biggest milestones, the first pharmaceutical company to manufacture and distribute Salk polio vaccine globally back in 1955. Lilly also has a long history in manufacturing drugs to treat diabetes and depression. Well, coming up next, more on Lilly's blockbuster drug for weight loss, getting the green light, what it could mean for patients and Lilly's bottom line.
Hey Gary, Fred Glass here, President and CEO of Gleaners Food Bank. Congratulations on 25 years with Inside Indiana Business, and thank you for all that you and Indiana Business have meant for Indianapolis and the whole state. So here's to 25 years.
I felt like a criminal or a terrorist or something like that.
Yes, the obesity epidemic is taking over the world.
And Eli Lilly and Company making a big mark on helping some 650 million people around the world to lose weight. The FDA's approval for treating obesity with ingredients from Lilly's diabetes drug Mounjaro, putting the company in a promising position on multiple fronts. The approval of Lilly's Zepbound drumming up excitement among doctors and patients. It's the first weight loss drug on the market that acts on 2 receptors instead of just 1. And here now to tell us what that means for patients, Business of Health reporter Kylie Valletta. Kylie.
Well, thank you, Gary. It sounds a little in the scientific weeds, but this is the big difference maker for Zepbound. The string of weight loss drugs already on the market activates 1 receptor in the brain called GLP-1 to decrease appetite and slow down digestion to help people feel full longer. Lilly's Zepbound is the first to deliver a second punch by also activating a receptor called GIP. Hendricks Regional Health endocrinologist Dr. Priya Menon says this 2-layer approach not only decreases side effects, but also causes greater weight loss.
I cannot explain what a game changer these drugs are. You know, where we would tell our patients before, we would advocate for bariatric surgery. Now we are able to tell them, let's try these drugs first and then see how you do.
Zepbound, a once-weekly injection, is approved for anyone with a body mass index above 30 or above 27 with a weight-related problem like hypertension or high cholesterol. Menon says there are 2 big hurdles. Most private insurance companies don't cover weight loss drugs, and they are expensive. The other problem is demand is so high, pharmacies are running out and the drugs are on back order.
But this is a good challenge to have, and we've never had this problem before. We've never had a problem with availability to this extent. Ever. In my decades of practice, I've been at Hendricks for about 15 years, and 2023 is unique in this respect, that there are so many people who would benefit. We finally have something that works, and insurance, if they have approved it already, the patient is unable to get it at the pharmacy.
Menon says the interest from her patients is truly unprecedented. She says every drug has a con, but there aren't that many for Zepbound. The most common side effects are GI issues like nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting, but not everybody gets them.
Lots to unpack here.
Yes.
A lot of interest, a lot of buzz around this. Access is a big issue. Dave Ricks talked about the manufacturing side, just producing it to get it out to the market. But then there's the accessibility when it comes to insurance, when it comes to Medicaid, Medicare. Not covering it, at least now. Right,
and Dr. Menon says this is the major piece of the puzzle that hasn't been solved yet, is that Medicare and Medicaid patients can't get it. It's, $500 to $1,000 a month. Medicare, Medicaid won't cover it, and it's unfair that this huge swath of patients who could benefit from it right now can't get it. And an interesting point to that is that private insurance often follows the lead of Medicare and Medicaid. So it's kind of a two-pronged issue right now.
Will be interesting to follow that. How about the buzz in some other areas like cardiovascular docs and bariatric surgeries that stand potentially maybe to be impacted by this?
Right, so bariatric surgeons, she says there's a lot of buzz among those surgeons. They're trying to figure out how to best use this drug. Cardiologists are really interested because if you can lose a lot of weight, it greatly decreases your cardiovascular risk. Here's one thing, you have to be on these drugs the rest of your life. If you stop taking them, the weight comes back, and Dr. Menon says it comes back with a vengeance. So another flip side of that, though, is it could be the only drug you're on. So if you can take this one drug, you can eliminate your cardiology drug, you can eliminate your hypertension or your high cholesterol drug. So there's a cost-benefit analysis. If you can take off your other drugs and just take this one drug, well, maybe the cost evens out.
Yeah, fascinating developments. I know we'll be talking a lot more about it in the future.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Kylie.
Yep.
Well, if you have tuned into local news in central Indiana over the past 40 years, you've no doubt seen reports from this iconic journalist.
A miracle surgery led to a painful period of physical therapy.
One of the goals for Harper was to get her walking.
Now, CBS 4's Debbie Knox continues baby Harper's story and shares the magical next step in her journey.
Longtime Indiana news anchor and reporter Debbie Knox, my guest on this week's Business and Beyond podcast. She's retiring this month from 4 decades in Indianapolis journalism. So what will she miss the most?
I'm going to miss the newsroom. I know I will. I'm going to miss, the people. I'm going to miss that, the buzz we all get if there's a breaking news story. That whole kind of environment is just about in my DNA at this point.
Much more with the grande dame of local TV news in Indianapolis, retiring journalist Debbie Knox, my guest on the next Business and Beyond podcast, and you can find it beginning Monday at insideindianabusiness.com. Well, it's that time of year when we all hit the internet to buy our Christmas presents. Coming up next, the holiday shopping outlook and the potential economic impact for workers and businesses here in Indiana. And Central Indiana flexing its muscle in the tech space. In this week's IBJ, see how the 16 Tech Innovation District is becoming a major player on the national tech stage, what it means for the future of biotech research in Indianapolis.
Here's what's making news around Indiana, brought to you by the Indiana Association of Realtors, Indiana's 21,000 realtors, the neighbors you know, the experts you can count on.
And we begin this week with an exclusive from our Evansville region reporter, Mitzi Morris. Mitzi reporting on a new vision in the works for the historic Shackelford Mansion in Evansville. The new owner of the property planning to turn it into a boutique hotel. That building was built during the 1860s, during the Civil War, and was once the largest private residence in Evansville. One of the main priorities is to update Shackelford's electric and plumbing systems. Plans also call for restoring its Victorian design rooms, fireplace mantels, and windows. Well, it is an eye-opening statistic. The Center for American Progress says about 55% of Hoosiers live in a child care desert. Indiana's Family and Social Services Administration says grants could help lower that number. The FSSA is extending the application period for its employer-sponsored child care grants. The $25 million program offers employers seed funding for child care initiatives using some of the state's remaining pandemic-era federal relief funds. Well, members of the United Auto Workers Union overwhelmingly ratified 2 new contracts with Ford and Stellantis. The companies agreed to raise pay for top-scale assembly workers, increases in cost of living adjustments that would translate into about 33% wage gains. Top assembly workers are to receive immediate raises and will earn about $42 an hour when the contract expires in April of 2028. Well, when the largest solar farm in the country opens in northern Indiana, it will have a Hoosier ag twist. Durrell Renewables, the company behind the $1.5 billion Mammoth Solar Project in Pulaski and Stark counties, partnering with landowners to allow them to tend to livestock and cultivate crops right next to the solar panels. A unique campaign is designed to save the iconic birthplace of the Coca-Cola bottle, that mural in Terre Haute, brick by brick. The Vigo County History Center launched the campaign after the mural on the exterior of the building was damaged by heavy rains. The center looking to raise $200,000 to repair and repaint the mural by selling bricks to the public. The east facade of the building has about 42,000 bricks. Well, a sunny outlook for retailers this holiday shopping season. Mary Rachel Redmond is here now with more. Mary Rachel.
Well, Gary, 'tis the season to be shopping. Hard to believe it's already that time of year again. While some of the sky-high inflation we've been experiencing has started to cool, gift giving will still cost more this year, but it doesn't seem to be discouraging shoppers. They call it the most wonderful time of year, and it just might be for retailers. According to numbers from accounting firm Deloitte, annual holiday retail sales expected to increase nearly 4% this year, an astounding $1.5 trillion between now and January.
To me, 23 is the first time we're kind of back to normal. And the Retail Federation, they're right back at their 3 to 4% increase is their expectation. So we're back around to, I think, a more normalized shopping experience this holiday season, but still the forecast for number of shoppers is really up. Almost, it wouldn't be impossible for 200 million people to shop over next Thursday to Monday.
Online sales also expected to increase upwards of 12%.
The thing I would remind people about Indiana, and in particularly the Indianapolis area, is that people may not know it, but Indianapolis is an absolutely incredibly important piece of digital commerce in the United States, because we have become a hub for distribution. The whole Whitestown area, where a number of different retailers have built warehouse facilities. Amazon has been in town for years now, and I think continues to extend their footprints.
And although the shift to online shopping continues, don't count out crowds still heading to shop in the store.
I expect more people to be out in stores just because there's just not some of the fears that have been around for a while. And also we all shop online every single day, and we've got to the point where it's just most of what we do in terms of acquisition of goods, I think, is done online in some ways. So there's most of us are going to end up in a store, and there's even a group of people, I think it's like 40% of all shoppers that shop for sport, and they do it for fun. I mean, there's the Retail Federation, cites this, that like 40% of people shop out of tradition.
And speaking of holiday shopping traditions, a lot of folks shopping local, supporting small businesses. John tells me the best way to do that is to buy a gift card, because that cash goes directly into the small business owner's pocket.
Good advice. Thanks, Mary Rachel. Well, Hollywood and the holidays, Blockbuster is hitting the big screen. Next, we visit the Indiana theaters offering more than popcorn and soda. That's next in this month's Trendiana segment. And not a current subscriber to the IBJ or Inside Indiana Business? Don't miss our Cyber Week deal, an amazing 50% off an annual subscription. This special offer is only available November 27th through December 1st. Learn more about it at insideindianabusiness.com or ibj.com/cyberweek. Well, with winter on the horizon, what better time to dip into Indiana's movie theaters? This week, we're visiting 4 theaters, taking the food and drink experience to the next level. Yelp's Brittany Smith joins us now from the Pruitt in Plainfield. Brittany?
Thanks so much, Gary. We are here at the Pruitt in downtown historic Plainfield, which is breathing new life into this beautiful 1920s theater. It's got an upscale dining room with creative and fun, playful menu options, as well as a screen in the backdrop that you can actually see here, where they're playing films as well as silent films and having live performances. You gotta check their schedule out. They have so many fun programs on the horizon. Friendsgiving, that they have a themed menu and drinks with special cocktails, as well as murder murder mystery nights. They have some beautiful private spaces here as well. Folks can't get enough of the short rib egg rolls and the Wagyu corn dogs. Just another great example of how playful the menu is. If you haven't been here yet, you definitely have to check out this space in historic downtown Plainfield. Next up, we're going to the Can, which is located in downtown Indy in the Windsor Park neighborhood, which if you're not familiar with that neighborhood, it's just a few blocks away from Mass Ave, and it is truly a new icon in that community, along with all the other great businesses that are just a few blocks away. They have a brasserie in-house that has oysters, craft cocktails, made-in-house shrubs that folks really enjoy. They also love that you can get reservations in advance for both the restaurant as well as the movies to make a whole night of it under one roof. Next up, we are going to the Eagle in Wabash, which is a historic theater that was built back in 1909. It's got 5 stories to that building, known from their recording studios as well as their live entertainment that they bring in-house. They actually have 2 upcoming live shows of Bing Crosby holiday performances that you don't want to miss out if you're wanting to get in that festive holiday spirit. And they're also known for their fun snacks like a peanut butter and jelly pretzels, as well as Oreo popcorn, some fun spins to make it a delicious evening. Last but certainly not least, we're going to the historic Art Craft Theater in downtown Franklin, which was recently restored in 2004. And folks love that you can not only go to that theater, but so many great restaurants in the surrounding blocks. But if you want to make a night of it under one roof, they also have pairing nights where they bring in local businesses like Mallow Run Winery and other breweries in the neighborhood to theme with the movies. They've got some really fun holiday classics on the horizon that I know sell out quickly, so you don't want to miss out on those. And they also carry local popcorn on their menu as well. Thanks again to our host, the Pruitt, for having us today. Gerry, you have to come check out this spot firsthand. It's incredible, and I'm already looking forward to my next date night. Back to you.
All right, Brittany, thank you. And as we leave you this week, a look at what has become a holiday tradition locally, Little by Little Farm in Zionsville. We'll see you next week.